right, I'm excited because these panelists are ready to talk, ready to have a conversation. All right. I go by the name of Sammy Approved. I'm here representing AddVenturesMusic and Patchwerk Recording Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. Anybody from you can get out your phone if you listen to podcasts and look that up. I do music. We got one with Chris Pat right here.
And understand how to move in every country, how it goes in every country. Every shit ain't the same, and a lot of artists don't have that. A lot of artists, they take their homies on the road, even if it's guidance, just make sure people can spread their music in the way that they're supposed to. So that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
Huh? That was my first tour I went on, yeah.
All right, before we get into our next panelist, yeah, y'all give it up for Christopher Patterson right here. We gonna, clap it up for these achievements, these accomplishments. We're gonna talk a lot about it. I'm sorry, I can't really see everybody well, so I gotta stand up. Before we even get started, I gotta shout out Drumma Boy, 66 Rod, House of Fresh ATL. If you're in Atlanta, make sure you visit. Yeah, make sure you visit his streetwear boutique. He got a lot of different things popping off at the House of Fresh. The 4th annual Fashion House Weekend. My fashion week. I love it. I'm excited to be here. All right, we're gonna keep going down here. We got Antonio. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Can't complain. This is Antonio Smith, Dutchess of Black Ink crew. He represents, but also the Brand Inc. CEO, brand and marketing artist, consultant. Like, he's the boss. We got bosses on the stage. How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm good. How y'all doing? A little bit about what I do. My first artist, God rest his soul, was Craig Mack. So he sort of taught me business, And from there I did APMD, The Refugees. I did Nicki Minaj's project, Rick Ross project, Akon. My last two was OJ the Juice, and now my current project is Dutchess. So if anything I can say to you, just remember that everything you do is your brand. You got to remember to entertain, to educate, to empower. So anything that you do is going to cause that to affect other people. So understand that.
And I can totally agree. That's why we're doing this right now, to educate and really let you guys know the business for real. All right, next up is Glenn Thomas, my good friend GT. He's a Patchwerk Recording Studios engineer, Grammy-nominated audio engineer. Let me not leave that out. Fetty Wap's personal engineer, and he's an artist and producer himself. So this is GT from Vegas. What's up?
Yeah, how y'all doing out there tonight? Yeah, West Coast in the building. Yep, I'm happy to be here. Patchwerk engineer, Fetty Wap's engineer. I'm just happy to come share my experiences and knowledge with y'all, and hopefully find the next person. That's my thing, is finding the next one. Because all of the guys I usually work with are already established, so you guys could be that next one.
Yes, that's fact. Y'all hear that? We're ready to network and empower people throughout this panel, so please feel free to chime in when we have that open discussion. All right. Listen, we got some really cool people on this panel. I'm happy to introduce Dex Diamond, VP of Marketing Promotions for AddVentures, Murder Inc. Records, the list goes on. Another boss. Please tell them who you are, what you do,
Good afternoon, South by Southwest. 66 Raw, I do music. Thank you for having me out here as a speaker. I'm part of Chris Gotti's team, AddVenturesMusic, and we travel the country trying to educate, empower, monetize, marketing, promotion, touring, and artist development, all for yourself. We provide that platform for you because we know what you need. We know what you don't know. So listen to us today, ask some questions, and have a lot of questions for this man next to me. You understand what I'm saying? That's Chris Gotti.
Yeah, Dinero also representing AddVentures. Please introduce yourself, tell me what you're doing.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. How you doing, my people?
What's up?
I'm just looking for an eating car. Listen, everything's positive. As the president of AddVentures, I represent our culture. Latinos have a diversified culture. We also do urban music, English or Spanish. So my experiences over 20 years in the game, being an independent artist, owning my intellectual property. So I'll be able to kind of give you some insight.
Tell you how you can make your own brand and keep that shit. I feel you. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. Own it. All right, and without further ado, he been wanting to introduce himself for a minute. Chris Gotti, AddVenturesMusic and Murder Inc. co-founder. What's up?
What's good?
It's your time to shine.
Man, I appreciate everybody here. If y'all here for a reason, so I'm glad to be here in front of you to speak to you guys and girls like that. I appreciate that. You know, and I'm just trying to build a platform that's going to change the entire music industry. Give me a chance just like you gave Apple a chance. Give me a minute, I'm building. So I'm already 2 years going on 3 years in. We got over 2,000 artists on the platform. My technology will be finished completely by no later than June this year. And when I do that, Universal, Warner Brothers, and Sony will have a big problem. Because I'm going to get all these artists that's out here to come fuck with it, nigga. You feel me?
So we obviously dealing with some big bosses in the industry here. A lot of you have experience that I don't have quite yet, but I'm looking forward to getting to where you are. So let's just pick your brains a little bit, okay? That's all right with y'all? Yeah.
We want questions too. I love questions from the audience. I don't know.
Definitely. Definitely. We'll have a time for all of that. So most of you have had your hands in developing artists in some way, form, or fashion.
Artist development is you working for them to enhance their music, to enhance their brand, to monetize, to capitalize, and spread their music to the world. And if you're not doing that, if you're not keeping them safe from bad contracts, if you're not keeping them safe from bullshit people around them, you're not developing them. If you're not keeping their mind and their mental safe, you're not developing them. You're challenging their person, and you're challenging who they are, and that's not useful. Yeah. So you build them up from a mental space, you build them up from a bargaining space, you build them up from a musical space, and that's artist development. So
you hear every artist damn near using today,
right,
with that melodic flow and singing what they said was singing at the time and criticizing for. When you're the pioneer of anything, you get nothing but pushback. So we was able to take that and create a sound and a wave that created classic music. Really, so that was just the focus of taking something that Jamla had instinctively or naturally and developing it into what you finally seen as the finished product.
See, I find that interesting. That's a great answer, by the way, definitely. I find that interesting, though, because a lot of times in the industry, you see the same sort of thing that really, can be a one-hit wonder, or it can be like something that catches on, right? But then you have the hidden jewels, or the hidden gems, like a Ja Rule, or some of the acts that are.
When you mention one-hit wonders, it's a blessing to even get one hit, right?
I agree.
But if you're looking for the career and the longevity, the reason they are one-hit wonders, they have no infrastructure, they have no foundation, they have no fucking clue how they made that record that became successful.
Right.
So when I just told you with Ja Rule, think of all the years that we put in before you actually heard him. And then when he first came out with his first album, we constantly was developing and growing. It's a process, but now he had an infrastructure that he's safe. Ja Rule is still out. Again, he hasn't put out music. He's touring constantly, and he generates a hell of a living doing something that he loves. Again, he can put out records whenever he wants. I'm fighting him like, come on, put out some music. Because I've seen something in his in the tours that he's on, and the audience isn't my age. They're young kids again. That to me is the most unique shit I've ever seen in music. I know the world doesn't know it because they're not at his events, but it's young again. And this is a young game, like all the marketing companies, you're here out in South by Southwest, all the brands want that. They want those young guys. So he has the ability to not, like their mothers and fathers, put them on the Ja Rule.
Right.
That's some dope shit for me to see and watch. So I'm like, because of that, I feel he could put out music if he chose to do it. Again, he does what he wants, so he's an artist.
Right, like any artist.
Wants. But that one-hit wonder, without that infrastructure, the hardest thing is you make that record, the powers that be, the radio stations, the magazines, everything that made you that one hit, that give you that one hit, all want the second record.
Right.
And you don't even know how you did the first one. I always talk about, because it's meant to help you relate, to understand it a little better, and I don't talk about going in a negative way because it's all positive. But Young May, for instance, she just had one hit, right? And it was that ooh that made everyone go fucking crazy, but it's not a record. That's a fucking freestyle. So she never expected in her wildest dreams that it would have got that successful.
Right.
And then here it is, it takes off, and now they're like, we want a record from you. The industry is not gonna allow you to do that again. Meaning, we don't want a freestyle, we want a fucking formatted record. And if you don't give them a formatted record, you're gonna have a problem. And that's where she's at now, trying to get that formatted record.
Let me ask. I totally agree. Y'all agree? You think it takes the infrastructure. Let me ask from your perspective, Antonio, just like developing someone who's not necessarily an artist, but like branding, and I apologize, y'all, I don't know a lot about everyone on this panel. I usually am super prepared, promise. But listen, nah, it's cool. Well, I want to know what it takes for you on this side of your like consulting and branding someone who's not necessarily an artist, but a figure, a public figure.
Well, the industry pretty much has changed. Like everybody's a brand. Like
Right.
if you operate and understand that you're a brand, then you move it. Because if you think about just jumping on stage and wearing chains, that's not a brand. You got brand recognized brand. You know, I own a vodka line as well called Cocktail Vodka. So if you can attach yourself with a brand, then another brand will be interested in you, and then another brand will be interested in you. But what you do with your brand is what you're going to attract.
If you perform and only 8 people showed up, everyone would know about it. Now if 8 people show up and you have the right cameraman, you could make it look like 80 people show up. Or 800, you do smoke and mirrors. Most of it is free. IG is free, Facebook is free, Twitter is free. All you have to do, you have emails now. You can buy a DJ email list for like $100 and email thousands of DJs. Back then, you didn't have access to that. You had to actually find, look at that, 400. Yeah, 20,000 DJs.
Wow.
That's one of the services we provide. But what I'm saying is that I think the artists today, even with the platform we have, digital distribution, and everyone can make money. Very few artists will get signed to a major label. You mentioned Fetty Wap, 1 of a million. What happened to the other 900? Do they give up on their dream? They can't, you shouldn't. This is why you have to learn the business so you can make a living doing what you love. Because there's only a few Drakes that can get you back-to-back hits. There's only a few Little Waynes running around, you know?
Right, that's what I was saying, that's what I was getting at. But, you know, you're developing that hidden gem, somebody who is like different, you know? It's hard
Well, today you have to develop yourself. They're not developing you today. You have to go out there and develop yourself. And because we have so many rappers, the market is saturated. Since you don't have any guidance, there is a lot of bad music out there from a mixing and mastering standpoint. I know there's an engineer there. I'm pretty sure that's what you brought to the sound of that Fetty Wap besides production. So I think that's the difference today. If you can get up on your mixing and mastering, if you can, don't sound like everyone else. I always tell Chris, I'm like, damn, this generation is banging everybody's girl. Because every song I'm banging your bitch, so I'm taking your money. Everybody's a boss, where the workers at? Everybody's a drug dealer, nobody got a job. Like this generation is, you know, this is generation. So this digital age has changed the game compared to when I was coming up. So you have more opportunities for success and more opportunities to make money with your music today than you ever had before.
Yeah. Let me actually talk to GT for a second. You work with Fetty, obviously we just been talking about that. And have been on the road with him and just like even experience in terms of like just, you've been behind the scenes. That's what you do, engineering, producing, and being able to look in a different perspective. How does he engage the crowd and keep people locked in with like his brand, what he has going on from your perspective? What is it about his sound even that caught on?
Alright, so do you want me to start from the tour side or the...
Tour, behind the scenes, just not just touring, but just witnessing him in action.
On stage.
Like the infrastructure behind, not just performing, like working, essentially, working.
Well, I mean, it's just like they've been saying, you gotta have a team. He has a strong team of people around that handles the touring stuff or the label stuff. Whereas we're in the studio, the more creative side. So I get to see him be creative, and really, we've done 200 songs this year. So to see him constantly write over and over again.
And still being busy,
being inspired, being happy to make music. But if you don't have everything in order, it'll be hard to make that kind of music and be productive, because you'll be constantly in your head about everything else. Now, as far as his brand, I feel like his brand is more so singing to the ladies. So when we're on tour and he's on stage, he does a lot of acapella. he doesn't use the track. He'll just sing to the crowd or sing to the ladies to let them know it's real, that it's not just studio. And he'll talk to them so it's more of a show and not just song after song after song.
Right.
And with like the last leg of the tour, we had a live band. So he's expanding. So now we're showing that, okay, he can work with different instruments. So I feel like it's just, his brand is ever expanding. And I feel like you gotta constantly expand, no matter how big you are, no matter how many number ones you have, you constantly gotta strive to be better.
Absolutely. Dex, let me ask you a question. Or did you want to comment?
I'll comment on that.
Yeah.
I say to these artists, as an independent artist, from my experience, now that we have what's called the digital era and it's digital distribution, the pressure is no longer on the independent artist. Nobody knows that you have a song coming out until you tell them. When you're on AddVenturesMusic or when I deal with projects, the first thing I say to my artists or who I'm dealing with is I have a philosophy called the 5 Ps. The 5 Ps is simply proper preparation prevents a poor performance. Once my engineer and the producers and everybody give me a finished product, and the artist say, here's a finished product, I say to the artist and his team, listen to me, let's not put this record out if you don't at least have 3 months of some type of promotional and traveling money. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to put something out there and then you take a package from one of these service providers, which AddVenturesMusic provides services for independent artists that's on our platform. But I'm speaking for people who are not on our platform and people who are on our platform. There's a difference now. But I tell you, as you have this, because you don't want to take a service and you start something and it starts to work for you and then you can't repeat it because you have no money and you don't have some backing. These are a lot of things that I see independent artists go through. They put the carriage in front of the horse. That's wrong. That's ass backwards. This game is about strategic-ness. The Instagram and social networks are free. I hear many artists say if they had a limited budget, they would spend it on their promotion. So you don't have to spend money on these social networks. You just gotta consistently attack them and use them in time-orderly fashions. You understand? But as an artist, when you're building perception on the social network, you, your artist and your team have to remember at some time of the day you have to come out of the matrix and understand reality that you're still an artist and you still have things to do. You can't walk around here acting like you're a celebrity because you look like a celebrity on Instagram. Because it shows when you walk down 6th Street, who knows you. When I walk down 6th Street, with my CEO, they know this is years and years of doing the same thing over and over. It's called consistency. People fuck with you when they see you're consistent. Let me ask people out here. Everybody out here has a favorite artist, am I correct? Let me ask you a question. When that artist became your favorite artist, was it on their first song, second song, or third song? I can say for granted, I know it's not the first song. The first song gained my attention. Second song kept my attention. Third song shows consistency, and he's coming with work that I'm constantly liking. Fifth song, all right, I'm gonna accept whatever he got because he already showed me what he's about, and I'm fine. That's how we think. So that's how you gotta look at it, man. You gotta fuck with people who know what they're doing. You can't listen to your friends. They're passive. They don't want to hurt you and they want to see you win. So they're not going to tell you the truth. You got to go out there to the fans and the people and see what they want from you and interact with them. But consistency is the key, and surrounding yourself with a team that's working to strive for you, not with alternate agendas, but to build you that when you make it, they can pull you up through the doors.
Oh, and it's crazy because, yeah, clap it up for that answer. That was very interesting. And just good advice, man. I hope y'all are soaking it all in. Write some notes down, shit. Why not? I was actually going to ask you something like the daily habits you should have, you know, just to succeed, really. And you kind of answered it in that entire spiel, so I appreciate it. Let me move back to, and then we'll open it up for questions too, so please prepare yourself. I'll bring the mic down, or we'll have somebody bring the mic to you. So, Chris, I know you've been out here with a lot of developing artists, from the likes of Beyonce, Hitchcock to Rhapsody. I won't even say developing at this point, she out of there. But talk about just what they're saying in general, but you're witnessing the climax. You're seeing the growth. Being out here at South by Southwest, which all of you all, how many artists do we have in here? Producers, managers, y'all in here? Cool. It's a process out here at South by. You're trying to push your records, you're trying to meet new people, you're trying to engage, tell them about your shows. How has that experience been for you in Austin this year with Rhapsody and Beyonce?
Well, this is my first South by Southwest.
What's up?
Last year I was out here with Jadena. Year before that it was, well, a few years back it was Jamla. So I think the biggest part about, they talk about showing things on camera, but the biggest part about it is being engaging. Like something that, and people don't see this, Rhapsody, I've done 2 tours with her in the past, maybe 4 months, and every show, after the show, she would do a meet and greet until curfew. And not a paid meet and greet where it was like, 100 a head for 15 people to get your money in. That's possible, you can do that. But every fan that wanted to stay and meet Rhapsody, she would stay after the show and meet them. And this is a Grammy-nominated artist who's been doing this for years with Ninth Wonder. What the fuck makes anybody so special that they can't do that at the beginning of their career?
Right.
If you're not engaging, if you're not talking to the people, what are you there for? Because that's the shit they remember. The artist that stays after the show, after they done bust their ass for an hour and a half to meet you, they go in the back for 5 minutes and they come back out to greet you, to talk to you, to sign whatever you bought for them, to take pictures. You have to have that kind of approach. That's what's going to set you apart from everybody else. Being dynamic, not just in your music, not just in your marketing, but who you are and how you approach people and what people remember you by. From the way you dress, from the way you act, from your stage show, from your music, to how you treat them. Everything's a brand. You're always on brand, right? My man said right there, if you're a brand, what does your brand stand for? Nobody wants to be like, he's a fucking asshole. Nobody wants that, right? Nobody wants to be like, oh, this music's trash. It's like, what does your brand stand for? And you have to check off all those boxes that you want to fulfill. Don't leave the boxes unchecked. All the answers are there. Anything you want to, you're at a panel, anything you want to learn about social media, it's all on the internet. You can go to lynda.com for $30 a month and learn how to work Pro Tools. You can learn how to work social media management. You can learn about anything that you want to learn, how to program your show. Just pay attention. Everything's already there for you. You just have to do the fucking work and then be a dope person.
Come on, clap it up for that one. Yeah, for sure. That was a great answer. I want to kind of just open it up for questions. I'm sure that you all have questions. Yeah. Can I have somebody just grab the mic and just pass it along? Patchwerk? Anybody?
How y'all doing? I'm Bobby from Little Rock, Arkansas. But going back to what he was saying all the artists sound alike and all of that. I'm not one of those artists that sound like some of the mainstream artists right now, but I do understand the fact that you can't change the game from outside the game. First you gotta get into the game in order to change the game. So would it be more beneficial to tag along with the bandwagon artists right now until you get in? Or is it more important to go and find your target market and then try to strategize and build based off of that?
Yeah, who you down?
It's basically mainstream and independence. I want to know from these two guys right here.
Do what you feel. Do what you want. Again, that's a simple answer. But to a complicated question, there's no right or wrong way to actually become successful. Everyone traveled a different journey. Your journey is going to be different than the next person. So you're asking, can I make a record that sounds like somebody? If that's what you feel you want to do, then fucking do it. Don't let you know what I'm saying? Just make sure it's hot. Make sure it's hot. Because if it's not hot, they're gonna question you like, sound just like this brother. This shit ain't like that. So you really put yourself right in front of the curve like a judgment place immediately because you sound just like somebody. So you know what I'm saying? That's the one thing I'll take with it. I tell all artists, do what you feel, yo. Don't let nobody tell you your record is whack or anything. We done had too many musical successes that I guarantee you didn't like for someone to tell you your shit ain't good. You know what I'm saying? So you just keep pushing and get it like that.
I would say, again, it all depends. You said it's your decision. If you feel, what is the means to the end of bandwagon and doing a song like that? Is it to get a deal? Is it to get discovered? You know, what is the means? If you want to create your own sound, I think that's part of developing yourself. Making those decisions are developmental decisions as you grow as an artist. To say, hey man, I can do that song better than him. Even if that's not what we would normally do. So I would say build your fan base, and we always say try shit. Try shit. What's the worst that happens? Maybe that song that you do takes off and gets you to where you want to go. You feel me? But you gotta definitely try what you feel, try shit. There's nobody has a blueprint. Chris can tell you one way to make it. You know what we say? Universal has all the money in the world. If they knew every fucking artist they signed would be #1. They don't know. They sign 20 artists, one makes it, they write off the other 19. All they need is one guy to make it, but they gotta sign 20. If not, next year they take the budget and they only give it for 15, right? But again, there's 22 million independent artists. And nowadays, you can do anything. Do it in English, do it in Spanish, go do some reggaeton, I don't know. The options are open. You know, there's no blueprint, do what you feel.
I want to chime in on that. I know you said mainstream, but in branding and marketing, if you break it down like this, there's a McDonald's and there's a Burger King. One says having it one your way, and one says I'm loving it. Doesn't mean they ain't making money. You understand? And what makes you different? That's what you got to understand. Like, what's your niche? And if your niche is better than their niche, it's a supply and demand type industry. You know, you got to understand the business of it. You give them what they want when they want it, and you got it.
What's going on? I'm 607 from Arkansas. No question, my man in the red hat. I'm here with my brother Davidson. He on the voice right now. This is the problem we have. He's been broadcasting millions of people. He got a voice like a young Bobby Womack, but the demographic is a little bit off as far as trying to market because people cut the cord, you know, years ago. So we got a large audience for him, but this is not an audience that comes to shows, that engages with him on social media. So what's your advice as far as crossing him over to, because now it's an audience, but it's kind of a dead audience up there. Or we don't know how to transition.
I was gonna say, yeah, it is. We're running low on time.
Sorry, bro.
I wanted you to answer that just because in my head, that's what I want to know too. Like, it's just a different sound at Wondaland, and you work with a lot of artists that are not necessarily like traditional. Yeah. So how do you break that sound? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
I think
Anybody else that can answer? Sorry.
Everybody in here should read an article called 1,000 True Fans. And 1,000 True Fans talks about building a viable business with 1,000 people. Everybody looks at, you keep looking left and right, and you see the stars, and you see the anomalies, but you're failing to look at it like a business. So with your business, how do you key in on these people? You say, take 1,000 people that are always buy your $10 album, that are always come to your $20 show. You'll always be able to generate a certain amount of income. You can generate $100,000 a year if you focus in on your target audience. And that target audience can help transition. Word of mouth has always been the biggest marketing thing, so period. If you hear from somebody you trust, period. So I think the biggest thing is with non-traditional artists, like you said, Janelle has never had a hit record, ever. Janelle's biggest song didn't break top 50 on Billboard. No, Yoga.
Oh, wow. I feel like Tightrope did really well though.
Tightrope did well, but Yoga was a bigger, it sold more. Being unique and tapping into your audience, like people say Janelle Monáe, that's the weird girl, X, Y, and Z, but it's like she tapped into her audience, she knew her audience, and she rocked with them year after year, and she toured very hard. Like they just said, anything in a 4-hour radius, if you can go talk to those people, go talk to them. If you can talk to the same people 3 times a year, 2 times a year, because that's what artists already do, they'll tour twice a year. And they may be charging more, but as a small business, your overhead is low. You don't have a tour bus to take. You don't have extra 10 people to take. So go see the people that are already fucking with you. And then tell people, it's constant engagement, and then be competitive with your content. Like, Janelle, her aesthetic is unmatched. And I'm not gonna name any other artists, but her aesthetic is unmatched. Be competitive, be smart about your business, and tap into the people who are already rocking with you. They're not going nowhere, you already got them. So you can keep going back to them. That well is never dried up. You think it's dried up, if you bring them something new and they're already rocking with you, guess what? You sold another album. You sold another show. And you don't have you don't have somebody picking in your pocket saying, oh, I need 10% of that, I need 20% of your merch, I need all your fucking publishing. Guess what? It's all yours.
Right.
It's all yours.
Yeah.
So lock it to the people, young Bobby Womack, that shit sound crazy.
I love it. I love it. Before we get into like, you answered your question well, good. I have the same issue representing an artist myself who is not necessarily the traditional rapper, so that I have the same. I think focus on what you're doing and focus on the people that's rocking with you now, and the rest will come. Like he said, just do what you're doing and make hits. It's simple as that. So stay inspired. Everybody stay inspired out there. If I could tell you anything, continue. If you love your stuff, the music that you're creating, continue to do it. It's your dream, not mine. Convince me, right? Understood, yeah. So I'm sorry we couldn't get to everybody else's questions. We are running low on time, but I do want to say, give you all, my lovely panelists here, an opportunity to just give one last piece of advice. Keep it short and sweet, and please give me your social media and where they can find you, where they can get in touch with you, okay? Sound good? Sound good. Starting with you, Antonio, my fault.
Okay. My thing would be is, you're not a blank, but a brand. It doesn't matter if you're an artist, model, or whatever. That's what you are. Act like a brand, think like a brand, be a business. My IG is BeatTheStreet77.
Wait, hold on. Let me let y'all get your phones out because we on a following spree. Y'all ready? Okay, let's go, Antonio.
The IG is at BeatTheStreet77. BeatThe Street 77.
GT, what's up?
I would say believe in God first, believe in yourself and your product, and try to go for the highest level of quality. That's where I am right now. I want to see the quality. Push the game forward. Let's bring the quality back. My IG is International GT. International GT.
Chris. What the rate's going for? Hey, go see that table in the back, Patchwerk Recording Studios. We record back home in Atlanta.
I work with Tiana.
You know, I do a lot. We'll talk. Chris, what's up? Tell them where they can find you. And just the last piece of word of advice if you feel like you have anything else to share.
In a world of the digital age, go to the people. Everything is on the internet, but it's a difference when you can give a real experience. Go to the people. Get in your car, put some gas in your tank, rent a car. Go to the people. Make them attach something digital to something real.
The Big Fantastic.
At Topher Pat, TOPHERPATT. That's the end of my first name, the beginning of my last name. Christopher Patterson, Topher Pat.
Thank you. Dex.
Wait,
hold on. He needs you to repeat that real quick. Repeat it one more time.
TOPHERPATT.
Thank you. Dex.
Me, I'm just passionate about this. I had the first time to experience all this with Ashanti, Ja Rule, and all these other artists. I just want to experience it now with new independent artists where I take you from no name to the big name. You can find me, Dex Diamond, on Instagram, Snapchat, Dex Diamond 1 on Twitter. Find me through AddVenturesMusic. I'll be walking around out here. Feel free to come up and ask me any questions about the industry.
What's going on, Don Dinero?
Here's the formula. If you're a good person and you have talent and you don't give up, you're going to make it. If you're a bad person with talent and you don't give up, you're probably going to make it, you're not going to last long. If you're a piece of shit with no talent, you're never going to make it. Have a nice life.
Keep it 1 minute.
Dinero 717. DINERO 717. Get on out.
What up, Gotti?
Yeah, I love everybody, man. The panel, all of y'all up there was dope, I know I ain't really worked with everybody, but it's a pleasure with everybody on the panel. You know what I'm saying? DNA, man. Thank you for having me, man. Again, it's So the one thing I would say is just believe in yourself. Never not believe in yourself. That's from my own personal experience. You know, we always believed in what we was doing. We never let someone tell us what to make or how to make it. Just went what we do, what we love, and that it turned into a great thing for all of us here. You know, murdering, you know, everybody. So stick to your guns, believe in what you do, and keep out there. Everyone that gave advice was exactly on point with what they're saying. There's so many things you have to keep in mind when you're building your own business and working at your craft. You know, you can find me at Chris Gotti 187 because it's still murder.
Hey yo.
Thank you so much to all of our panelists. Y'all please give them a round of applause for being out here, giving us their time. These are busy people, so I appreciate it. But before we allow you guys to leave, I just want to say we encourage you to stick around to the Tight 32 contest that's coming up. We'd love to have you guys judge it. I know if you have some time, it'll be fun. Talk to my folks over at the